Side of Bruce. Polo Acosta. And on the other side, the Bayside Queens native Julio Arce, the plus 170 underdog tonight. Arce in black, Jackson in what?
Jackson just looks so stoic whenever he's standing across the octagon, kind of like Carlos Esparza. It's like a wrestler thing, right? They show no emotion when they're in there.
That famous Esparza deadpan. Don't let it fool you.
Nobody had a better deadpan than Fedor.
No, my goodness.
The best.
That was scary.
He had the best deadpan of all time. In the middle of chaos, full deadpan.
He was a scary guy. Oh, beautiful level change there by Jackson. That was fast. You could tell he didn't intend to finish that single leg. He grabbed it to pull him in close, got to the body lock. Now if he can step in front with his left leg, he can start to drag Arce down to the mat.
Well, he can hear you, so yell it out.
Okay, maybe I should not.
We're right in front of him.
I know, he's right there.
That's got to help, especially the early fights like now.
Well, when you dry, there's not as many people in here. You can hear everything.
Yeah.
But his hands aren't locked now, so it'll be difficult to try to rotate him down to the mat.
That was a nice knee to the body there by Montel.
Ooh, right on the cup, or so it appeared.
You okay? You got the box. Be careful of the knees, please.
I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Arce came off season 1 of Dana White's Contender Series. Jackson season 2.
I have a question for you guys. Is it still legal to wear a steel cup?
Yes.
They still
Wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild.
I always had one.
I had Mighty Mouse on the podcast the other day, and he was telling me he wears a steel cup, and that's why, because, you know, if someone kicks it, it hurts them.
It hurts them.
But I'm like, man, you got a piece of metal on you.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, and it is a fulcrum for leverage with arm bars and stuff.
But if you wear that plastic, when those things split in half,
well,
some of these bad kicks and knees,
some of those the cheap ones.
Crack. Yeah, it'll just crack.
I really like the Diamond MMA system. Because
it goes inside the short.
It's just compression shorts.
Stay busy, got work out of there, gentlemen.
I just think it's kind of crazy they still let them wear steel cups.
Well, there are a lot of fighters with like metal bars in their arms and legs too, right? After surgery.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah,
it's covered by tissue. But yeah, you got a point there. I mean, Tim Sylvia had a big plate in his arm for a long time after that fight with Frank Mir.
Dominic Cruz threw a spinning back fist in training. He's got a metal bar in his arm.
Montel's having success just holding him there. Arce's finding it very difficult. And the problem he's having is he's not digging his underhooks. You see how he's got his left arm across? That arm should be coming up underneath the right arm of Montel Jackson.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I usually hate that, but right now I want to see some fun.
Nothing really happened, after Alberg, right?
Oh, my goodness. What a great fight to start the card. It's hard, because when it gets off to a bang like that, you want to see that in every fight, and then the audience gets bloodthirsty.
Oh, my God. When they start, sometimes they boo after nothing for like 30 seconds, and I'm like, my God, just go home.
Go watch baseball.
Yeah, if you're going to boo after this, after like 30 seconds of no action, it's crazy.
Under 2 minutes to go, Arce made his UFC debut in Boston back in 2018 with a win over Dan Ige, then moved up to featherweight shortly thereafter. 2-1 now since moving back down to 35. Last 2 fights for Arce, by the way, inside Madison Square Garden. Split decision losses to Shayman Morais and Hakeem Dawodu. Close fights, so it's one motivated man to get his hand raised in his home arena tonight.
And he said to us that he wanted to be a little more active, wanted to put more pressure, because he didn't want to be standing in the middle of the octagon wondering. And right now, he's allowed for Montel to control him early, and he might be finding himself in one of those close rounds again.
They're exchanging jabs for the southpaw position. Julio's got a very quick jab.
Julio,
there it is. There's a left and a right.
Julio starting to set his trap. He's got to get Montel's back towards the side of the octagon.
Well, both guys landed in that exchange.
45 seconds. Take it. Double up that lyric.
Jackson picking his spots pretty well in round 1, but just 7 of 15 on his significant strikes unofficially.
The problem with a round like this is an uneventful round. When you're talking about a 3-round fight, if the next 2 rounds are tightly contested, this could be anybody's round.
Yeah, you're giving away a round like that's the dangers in this slow, methodical pace.
That's it. Close it in now. Let's go, baby.
Because Arce could explode right now into a combination, and that could win him the round.
Arce going for that late round takedown, but Jackson able to stay upright. Oh,
He
he
gets
got it.
Look at that. That's huge. Just what we were talking about.
Massive.
That's it.
That's a massive takedown.
And that could be the round for him.
Because Jackson tried so hard to take him down, had no success doing it. Arce scores a takedown at the end of the round.
And Arce was very aggressive throughout the round, pushed the pace, particularly towards the end of the round.
Now you know you can take him down. Scared of your hands. And you know you can take him down. So put your hands on him a little quicker. He's scared of it, right? Just watch. He's throwing the left hook on you. You're getting under it, which is beautiful. Okay? Beautiful.
Confidence, baby. Confidence.
Good. Feel strong? Yeah. Good.
Drink it in.
I'm good.
Breathe. Couple deep breaths. Couple deep breaths. Come on.
You know what he wants.
Yeah, he's dipping down.
He's dipping down a lot. Aim right here with that jab and double it up. Okay?
When you're going to follow with the hook, he's getting low because he knows you're trying to swing hard.
Where?
We're digging like 33s on our hooks, not threes. You got me?
Hey, you can walk into the kicks to there.
Let's do this, baby. Let's do this. Let's get activity this round.
Right after tonight's main event, don't miss a recap of all the action on the UFC 281 post-show on E+. Anthony Smith and Paul Felder join Brian Custer and me to break it all down. Megan O'Leary interviews all the big winners from tonight's card. You can only see it on ESPN+. All right, round 2 here. Jackson in white and Julio Arce is in black. So largely an effective striking round, scoring-wise in round 1. But if you couldn't pick a winner, you go to the effective grappling late and the takedown for Arce. And you heard from one of the Shulman brothers. Now he knows he can take him down. We'll see how he proceeds here early round 2.
Well, he was also pushing the pace a bit more.
He landed a good combination on the side here.
I mean, it wasn't the most eventful round, but he did have his moments, and he definitely had that one moment at the end. The fact that he did that after the collapse, that was big.
And also this, right? By being the guy that's going forward and pressing. Montel's got to establish some control of the octagon a little bit and do more of that.
Yeah.
Stay inside, baby. Don't again. Capitalize on that.
Jackson 5-2 in the UFC coming in. Coming off a win over J.P. Bays. That was all the way back in September of 2021.
Jackson reaches. When Arce feints, Jackson reaches with both hands. Look at that. He tries to catch and move his punches away from his head.
Get the gambler's perspective by checking out UFC on the Line exclusively on Fight Pass. The guys give you all the best bets for tonight's card, and you can check it out now only on UFC Fight Pass.
One of the things that Julio Arce is doing very effectively is he's getting Jackson to react.
Yep.
He's the one who's pushing forward. He's the one who's instigating all the feints and all the exchanges. And you're seeing this constant state of reaction from Montel.
Yeah, Montel's reaching with both hands. He's got to stop doing that. His hands got to stay at his face so that he can leave himself in position to counter like that.
And that counter appeared to get Arce's attention. Coming up on 3 minutes here to go round 2. Jackson loading up a few times in this round. Dean Thomas with a hot mic all night. What do you have, sir?
Yeah, I wanted to speak on Jackson and kind of add to what you guys were saying. Because Jackson does have the height and reach advantage, he's doing what a lot of taller guys do, and that's as he comes in, he pulls his head straight out and lifts it up. Arce's not taking full advantage of that. He's got to keep pressing forward, punch low, and come high, then he can take advantage of that.
Thank you, Coach. Jackson seeing things pretty well defensively. Nice counter by Montel there. Ooh!
That's a good shot right there. Montel's got to be a little more active.
He seems almost a bit lethargic in there.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about, right? His expression.
Yeah.
He doesn't show much emotion. And it's like that's kind of the way his facial expression still hasn't changed.
Oh, there's
Nice
that right
shot there,
hand
yeah.
again. Perhaps an overreaction by me, but what
That's
a pistol
great
right
right
through the
hand.
guard.
Yeah. Nice knee. When Jackson goes, he can land. He finds his shots.
Seems as though Jackson's corner, Solo Acosta's boxing coach, looking for him to put some combinations together.
His jab, he should start popping the jab. I mean, if you're intent on fighting this type of style of fight and type of fight, that jab's got to be more active.
And it's very effective when he lands.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a bowling ball at the end of it. Enormous hands. Oh. There
But
it is
it almost
again.
feels like a little bit of a sparring reset by him. You know, he engages and then retreats.
There it is. But here is where you go to the next level of the takedown. He should start trying to step over with his left leg. He's got to start trying to make him move to try to make Arce play catch-up. Because right now, when you go to the clinch in this position and you're not doing anything, guys can defend this all day. Now, look at that. He stepped around. Now he got the back.
Arce's takedown defense is outstanding. Montel Jackson takes down a lot of guys, 76%, second all-time in UFC history for his takedown accuracy, and Arce staying upright through 3 unofficial attempts thus far.
Especially when he gets here. There's really no question that he's going to get his fighter to the ground or his opponent. But Arce's doing a good job of keeping Montel's hips back. Now it'll be a little easier for Montel to finish his takedown. See how close he is. He's got to step off to the left and then try to get him in the air. I just think Montel's okay with this. He feels like he's in an advantage position and he's winning.
Strike, Julio, strike in there!
A little dirty boxing at the end of the round. Nice knee by Jackson. 10 minutes down, 5 to go.
Right here you see Montel land that beautiful right hand down the middle. Knocks Arce back. Arce with a beautiful little jab. Then moves his head off the line. Jackson with a jab. And these guys are both doing a good job of rolling their shoulders when the punches are coming in their direction. That's why nothing's landing square.
Okay? If we're putting a 1-2 on him not to land, but to get him to duck into our knee, it's going to touch him. Okay? The next thing is if we decide to wrestle on the fence, Telly, I'm okay with it if we decide to do it. But listen, when he gets that knee shield up, I want you to go to a high crouch. Pick your head up outside and pick that big dump. You got me?
22s, man, he's dipping a lot.
He's dipping a lot. Walking those short blitzes. They don't have to be hard, Montel. You don't have to swing hard. Just touch him, knee, and then clinch him up, and then work from there.
You're not going hard with the hands, you're going hard with the knee. Let's do this, baby.
Well, get closer to the octagon with Rainmakers UFC. Build your roster of fighters with packs of fighter cards and dominate the competition to win huge cash prizes. All right, third and final round. Pretty large 5 minutes in terms of the career trajectories for both of these men. Anybody's fight, Julio Arce and Montel Jackson.
And Julio seems to be getting on the gas a little bit.
It was a good right hand by Montel.
He did what his coaches asked. He said, hey, even if you throw the 1-2 to get the knee up.
Oh, he hurt him. He hurt him bad.
The jab was
wow. And that's exactly what you were talking about earlier, DC.
Yeah.
That jab's money.
Oh, that's big shot.
How about that? Knockdown in 5 consecutive fights for Jackson. Arce trying to recover here.
A bantamweight with hands the size of Francis Ngannou. You would expect knockdowns, right? This guy, when he can hit you, he can hurt you.
Any thought to welcoming Arce back to his feet?
I mean, Arce seems to be recovered now.
Well, the way Arce's throwing up his legs, he's very offensive. He's very offensive with his guard. He's not just looking to hang on. He's looking to set up triangles. So Montel has to be very careful. Like, look how this is a dangerous guard. Like, he's having a hard time controlling the hips. He doesn't have a hold of them yet. He's not, I mean, even when he's stacking them, Arce is looking to set those legs up and cross over the top of the shoulder. So, look at that. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my goodness.
Dangerous, man. That's a dangerous guard.
Yeah, it's scary.
You got to be careful. If I was Montel, I would either get out of this, I would be telling him to get out of this, or you've got to work harder to get to a better position. You got to move to a dominant position. You can't linger in this guy's guard. It's too dangerous.
5 career submission wins for Julio Arce, but all of them by way of the rear naked choke.
But you can see his guard is good.
Yep.
Montel should be stacking and trying to pass off to the side here.
But I think he's trying to do that, but Julio's is really good at this position.
Yeah, Arce can up kick right now if he wants to.
Arce's trying to get back to that triangle, though.
Yeah.
He's trying to wait for Montel to throw something, overextend, and force his head and chest back into that position to try to get his legs up around his head.
Well, if Montel really wants to pass, he's got to go double unders with both legs and cinch it down. And in the meantime, make sure that he doesn't get triangled.
Why is he not passing, though, right? There's an easy pass there.
I think it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
I think
Must
Julio's
be something he
pretty
built
clever.
in there, yeah.
When I'm looking at his legs, the way he's moving off of his back, it's a very educated guard.
All right, Arce back to his feet, just over 2 minutes to go.
But meanwhile, the advantage of having hurt him is now gone, right? So you hurt Julio, you had him in some trouble, landed a little bit of ground and pound. Maybe you should have let him back up. I mean, he might have still been wobbly.
Yeah,
once he knew that he couldn't get him out and that Julio was threatening with the guard, it might have been a better idea to let him up.
Some pretty significant swelling under that left eye of Arce, but as yet, the eye has not closed.
So again, this brings us back to round one, which is the most uneventful round, because that round could be the telling round. This is a big round so far for Montel.
In round two, Jackson got to the back. Jackson was able to land some shots. So I mean, he could be one of the last two, but it's a very close fight. Arce's got to have something big if he wants to win this fight.
Again, Jackson defensively really doing a nice job seeing these shots. Julio Arce unofficially 22 of 103, hitting on just 21%.
That's great defense there.
I think the big moment of this fight, though, clearly belongs to Montel.
Yeah.
Less than a minute now to go. Oh, nice right hand from Jackson.
That jab, man.
Yeah.
Now be quick. Yeah, jab, jab. Let it go, baby. Hey, 2-5. 2-5.
Montel doesn't have a scratch on him.
Montel's telling his coaches to calm down. He's like, yo, we're cruising, just chill.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah, you saw him. He like literally went over to him and like, calm down. Jeez, Montel. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Jackson, very much a loyalist, has stayed with his camp throughout his UFC career after an 8-1 run as an amateur.
Go, baby. One time, Kelly, let it go. Let it go.
Arce loads up late, unable to connect. And a big third round for Montel Jackson likely will stamp this one in the win column for him.
Let's take a look at that knockdown, because he caught him with that beautiful jab that we were talking about here. Just clean, straightforward, like a piston. And Julio just knocked off of his feet.
It looked like he was off balance, but then when he went to the ground, you could tell that he was actually hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the middle of like it was a beginning the kick, right? So he was balancing, getting ready to kick, but it was a beautiful jab.
All right, get ready for every fight night and pay-per-view by watching Best Bets with Brett Okamoto and Ian Parker. If you're looking for big underdogs who could cash or some fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score the contest 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Montel Jackson.